No one there yet, but anyway, this is my mum, Eleanor, and I'm David, and we're going to be reading my book, Thriving at Nature's Pace. We're on chapter 4. Today is a little bit special because my mum's going to go for a eye check in a bit, but the doors in her apartment building can't be opened. They have this electronic lock, and the electronics have gone bust. So we're going to have a bit of a challenge trying to go down by stairs. And my mum has had a stroke a few years ago, so she doesn't move very well. So it's going to be quite a challenge of seeing how we can get her wheelchair, and me down those stairs. So that's going to be quite exciting. My mum was saying she can manage it, so I'm going to trust her to that. She's going to have to carry me. Okay, so we're going to read a little bit from this book. And the chapter before, we were talking about how there's a thing called a value proposition. And the fact is that this is something intangible that you get because it offers you something more than what you're paying for in that way. So if you think about brands, they tend to have a value proposition with them. Kind of like a luxury brand might have that value proposition of being something that's kind of special that people would look to and admire. Some other things like a Toyota with a car in front is a Toyota's proposition that they always work. That's kind of a value proposition that you can always trust them to. They're very practical in that way. And so coming back onto this, we are talking about economies, and economies have value propositions as well. And the idea that has been prevalent or through for the value proposition of the economy is that if you work for the economy, go get a job and do your work well and so on, you'll be able to advance, save money, and then you can retire. And when you can retire, you can do the things that you really want, which might be to sail around the world or to, hike around and watch all the films you like and so on. But this is actually breaking down this value proposition. So I'm going to carry on from this. So this value proposition has been driving the economy for decades and has led to financial hoarding that is so damaging to the environment. By the way, this financial hoarding is basically saving monies in our pensions, because when we do that, we don't actually care where that money comes from, and we just keep it in our pensions so no one else can get at them. Investments and pensions are forms of hoarding. The economy encourages people to make money and hoard so that they will have enough put aside. This hoarding is extractive, and it has led to excessive exploitation that lies at the root of the crisis the modern economy is facing. Ironically, this exploitation is exploiting the people themselves. They are no longer able to make enough money to pay bills, let alone save for a future. For many people, this value proposition of an American dream can no longer be experienced. There is no retirement if people cannot earn enough to save it. Say someone's just joined, so just want to say hi again. We're reading my book, Thriving at Nature's Pace, and this is my mum. Her eyesight is quite bad, so I'm reading it for her. She was asking, "What is your book about?" So there you go. So and we're talking about a new approach to climate change, and in this part we're talking about the environment and how the pensions and things that we save actually, without us intending to, ends up just extracting everything from it. So this exploitation is hurting the people themselves. They are no longer able to make enough money to pay bills, let alone save for a future. For many people, this value proposition of an American dream can no longer be experienced. There is no retirement if people cannot earn enough to save. It's also making the middle class disappear. Middle class workers are increasingly caught between bills for themselves, their parents, and their kids. But luckily, my mum is very, very capable of looking after herself and us, so I don't have that situation. I just have to come here and read with her. The middle class has been the mainstay that has kept the extractive economy alive. Their main characteristics is surely that they can earn enough to retire early. Far from being the winners of an economic miracle, the middle class is being increasingly the losers. The January 2025 wildfires in Los Angeles, USA, show that even for the winners, the future no longer matches the dream. Movie stars and influencers whose jobs are to promote the dream found themselves evacuated. Some even saw their homes burned down. This breakdown of the extractive economy's value proposition is reflected across the developed world. Even in developing countries like China, university education is turning out to be more of a burden than a benefit. there is an increasing lack of job opportunities for graduates, and we're seeing that even worse. My kids, I can tell you, have that too. In the UK, I don't know if you know, over half of the people who graduate and qualify as doctors have no jobs as doctors. So that's pretty terrible. There's no saving for retirement if even qualified young people cannot get a job. When people cannot get a job, the value proposition of making money loses appeal and the economy implodes. Climate change is forcing the need for a different value proposition for the economy. Thrive contracts and Thrive coins can help build and deliver this. They embody the value proposition of thriving at nature's pace. That's the basis of committing oil and gas and coal to the ground. It is how the new currency of Thrive coins is minted. This opens the door to connect people together as nature's family and reflect on what thriving means. Thrive contracts and Thrive coins deliver it because they are the tools to build a new economy. They are the inspiration that helps raise funds to support people to innovate for themselves. And this is the idea that you can. So hi, someone from Ukraine. Hi, happy have a lovely day. So it's terrible there. I've been reading the news. Hope you're okay. When people buy Thrive contracts and use Thrive coins, they are directing money to the innovations that support thriving at nature's pace. The coins also allow this community to be easily identified. They build the social capital that appeases the fear that they have of being left alone. It helps them know they will not face climate change on their own. As nature's family, they can never lose everything. There will always be someone there. What may this look like? Earlier, the imagined investor partnered with a coal company to develop a new economic activities. Imagine that one of those activities is a chain of cycling cafes. The cafe now introduces a Thrive Boost to accompany drinks. When customers add a Thrive Boost to the drink, in addition to an extra shot of coffee, the cafe shares the cost with the customer of a Thrive contract. The customer can use this to promote their own interests. The customer can sell the Thrive contracts to nature for a Thrive coin. They can now use this with a community that shares the value proposition of thriving at nature's pace. They can invest to support the innovations they want to see. The customer can now incorporate their actions with their personal and business profiles. Kindred souls seeing it will recognize them as members of nature's family. This enhances social capital. The source of the value proposition is ultimately the ability to keep the oil and gas and coal in the ground. This is what makes it possible to commit to nature's pace. Nature does not judge. People continue to do whatever they wish. This is the essence of social capital. It builds because common interactions, regardless of differences in views. It is like an impressionist painting. Each dot adds more to the image regardless of the color of the dot. However, climate change is ever present. The disruptions and costs become the constraints that will guide people's choices. It is like the migration of wildebeests. This happens because of the changing environmental conditions. That's what motivates them to move. Any person, business, or community can participate. Airbnb, the home away from home rental service, can, for example, extend this value proposition. It can create a Thrive community that allows guests to feel like locals no matter where they go. That too would be thriving at nature's pace. Pandora, the world's largest jewelry company famous for its bracelets and charms, can create a new series of Thrive charms. These may be personalized to become special gifts to mark milestones in the recipient's personal journey at nature's pace. With a value proposition, the climate agenda is meaningful to people's own motivation to better themselves. It brings everybody together as part of nature's family. Everything can become part of the value proposition of doing things at nature's pace. So that's that for this section. So, Mum, any thoughts? What do you think?
Well, still, a lot of people still thinking of going for holiday.
Yes, I know a lot of people still, and some people need to because their work is quite stressed. So it's more kind of thinking holistically, and then going for holiday. If you want it to be a restful time, sometimes the traveling just makes it more stressful. So maybe some other ways of going for rest would be good.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's because they like the traveling, the actual journey. But I think very few people actually like sitting in an airplane. So there might be better ways to actually travel and really see things and experience it.
And it's expensive.
and it is expensive, so it is more than I can afford. Um, okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us. This is my mum Eleanor. I'm David. This is my book, Thriving at Nature's Pace. Please recommend it. Get a copy yourself if you like, and hope we can share our time together again. Bye bye for today.
Bye.
Bye bye.